Okay, we're going to start with the nation. Uzodinma Keyamo CSOs, labor protest partisan. Yoruba in diaspora to Tinubu eradicates poverty. Nigeria, Saudi Arabia sign MOU on oil and gas investment. Allocate presents 273 billion proposed budget. Senate seeks sack of MDA bosses, ignoring summons and motions. Umahi explains 21 billion vote for Third Mainland repairs. Wike remains my principal, Governor Fubara declares. And Nigeria's oil supply to Europe hits 730,000 barrels per day. Okay?
Okay, so Nigeria, of course, and the Saudi Arabian government are in talks, and they've signed some MOU that, covers joint research, development initiatives, knowledge sharing platforms, and capacity building around mineral resources and oil. And Minister for States for Petroleum Resources, Senator Enekin Lokbobiri, signed on behalf of our government, while the Saudi counterpart, Prince Abdulaziz bin Salman, signed on behalf of the Saudi government. This, of course, they said, is one of the primary benefits is sharing and facilitating technological exchange and, of course, boosting foreign direct investment. They said Saudi has advanced technologies in oil and gas exploration and production, and Nigeria stands to gain significantly from this knowledge transfer that they are hoping would, over time, help our own government. The exchange of technical expertise also is poised to elevate efficiency and effectiveness of Nigeria's energy operations, ultimately contributing to increased production levels and global competitiveness. In all of this, I did not see environmental concerns. So in everything concerning mineral research, oil and gas research, because of our experience in oil and gas, I read to see what are the environmental options to protect wherever. Right now, as we speak in Kwara, they are doing this mineral used for making batteries for electric cars, lithium. They are mining it in large quantities. I don't even want to tell you the daily profit amount that they mine. But we don't see our government pushing to protect. They may not take mineral finish, we no go feel live for our country now. Sure, that's what I'm trying to say.
Okay, in Rivers State, with the State Governor, Siminalayi Fubara, yesterday at the opening of the 2023-2024 legal year redemption church service. It was held at St. Cyprian Anglican Church in Port Harcourt. While he was there, he talked about Wike. He says he still remains his principal, and that despite what has happened, they're asking people he's asking people of Rivers State to please put that behind them. That see, what's important is that they owe them development, and you understand the devil will try to come in various ways to scatter things, but they have no issues. They are working together. He also goes ahead to laud Wike's contributions to the judiciary within the state, and he says that even from what Wike did the last 8 years, he's going to do more. So there's no fight between son and father or principal and whatever.
It's an overage for your court. I'm loyal, Ogami, loyal.
All right, let's go on a quick break. When we come back, we continue with our review. Stay with us, we'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
Okay, still reviewing the nation. Let me take a story. The members of the National Association of Yoruba Descendants in North America have urged President Bola Tinubu to fight poverty and mobilize Nigerians in the diaspora for economic development. They were saying this during their convention in Philadelphia. And there was a communique released signed by the national president, Mr. Ayodeji Famuyide, and the secretary, Rotimi Kuteye. And they said that members were thankful to God that a Democrat, a fighter for democracy, has become president who confronted the military without worrying about his own personal life and assets, has been elected president. I said, with Asiwaju being president, we are sure that the ship of the country is in steady hands and democratic norms will be the new lease of the. However, they're hoping the president can fight poverty because Nigeria is in dire situations and our people are facing serious hardship and they need the president to fight poverty with everything he has. Okay?
So, I'm taking the story about 21 billion naira being voted for Third Mainland repairs, saying that the approval has come through and the minister for...
Repair to build a new bridge.
No, 21 billion naira for repairs. It sounds like a lot of money, but in dollar it's not a lot of money. Okay. So the popular Third Mainland Bridge is going to be having a new face. They'll be removing the guardrails, putting new ones, painting it, resurfacing, painting the curbs, putting thermoplast material on the roads. They also said they will be putting street lights that are solar-powered street lights for proper illumination. All the much-needed road work itself will be done. There will be removal of the worn-out asphalt and replacement. I'm worried for the impact on traffic in Lagos, but we need this repair, and the funds have been approved. So we're chairing the Minister for Works to doing the work in Third Mainland, but there are many other federal roads in Nigeria. I was in Edo State. There are no federal roads. Doesn't look like the minister. Please visit Edo State as well and work on the federal roads.
Remember the conversation he said with the Edo State government?
That they should do the work ahead.
Yeah, just do the work and we'll sort you out.
The Punch. Federal government tackles labor over strike. Unions disrupt Imo flights. Energy FG Saudi signed MOU. Exim Bank and UBA partner on the trade. Nigerian shot by Togolese soldiers seeks Tinubu's help. Fashion-Ranti Adebanjo's Afeniferi's faction clash over the Supreme Court's verdict. 40 AIG's commissioners deployed in police shakeup. Crude exports to Europe rise. FG boosts local supply. Border closure. Businesses collapse in northern communities. Smuggling booms. And budget hearings. Senate demands sacking of MDA heads. Okay, which story? Are we starting with the Punch?
Let me take the human story. Two Nigerians in 2000, September 8th, were in Togo, shot by the Navy, how do you put them? The old Navy over there in Togo. So there are two businessmen involved in car imports, and they used to use the Port Autonome port in Togo for their imports. So they had purchased cars, and their agent had called them to come for the clearance. While they were at the place known for the same business, naval officers came in. They asked them to, to lie down, and before they could say jack, shot them in the legs, in both of their legs. So one is Mr. Shoaga Taju, and his partner is Mr. Shegun Leopard. They were shot, and later on their cars were searched for criminal items, which they did not find. The head of the Navy then said, why did you shoot them? What was their offense? Why did you rush to shoot if they only had their car papers in the car? And so they rushed them to the hospital. Initially, they had to pay for their initial treatment. Mr. Taju said he had about 140,000 CFA in his pocket, and he was already bloodied. The money had to be cleaned up for him to pay. They treated them on the first aid basis. The president of Togo at that time also ordered that they were given 250 million CFA for treatment. That money was never paid. He said till date, they've been going back and forth, the Togo High Commission in Abuja, to have this matter concluded. His partner cannot even walk at all. He can still limp. That one still has bullet pellets in his body.
Wow.
Since 2000. So they're now asking the president to please use our diplomatic relations and come in and intervene in the matter to bring it to a final conclusion. I'm hoping this closes once and for all.
Yeah.
I was going to take about crude. So the executive director, crude and condensate at NNPC, Mariam Idris, has disclosed that the crude oil exports from Nigeria to Europe has increased from 678,000 barrels before the Ukrainian war, and now it's 730,000 barrels per day. According to them, the component in our crude is quite in demand. It says that the Nigerian grades are increasingly becoming a significant component in the post-war palette of European refiners. 7 Nigerian distilled rich grades have become a steady preference for European refineries, given the absence of the Russian and Ukraine diesel. They're also saying that many local refiners are complaining that Nigeria hasn't really deposited or crude to them. And she has said that in the meeting, she specifically stated that it is going to be a matter of national shame if they cannot meet our domestic crude obligations to step up their refining capacity. So definitely, she was speaking yesterday, specifically saying that they will address the concerns of unavailability of crude for indigenous refineries, but they shouldn't. It is better for us to actually have those crude refined in Nigeria. But we're happy that our own special crude is what is in demand right now in Europe, and that's goodness for Nigeria because it's more money for us.
Talking about that, commercial activities in border communities of Katsina, Sokoto, Borno, and Zamfara states have collapsed since the federal government had closed the borders, bordering Niger Republic because of the ongoing coup. So lots of communities around these border towns, they do the sort of trans-border businesses, so imports and exports, but they said that they haven't done, and in fact, they said in the week when the border was closed, commercial activities had slowed. They said there are so many trucks also, lines of trucks loaded with goods just stranded by the borders. And, people in these communities are not happy about this. So luckily also residents are, I don't know if it's luckily, but, they have figured out a way. So they are now facing farm produce such as yams and grains, also cattle, just using that for the meantime. But their main business, which was the trans-border import and export, has stalled. And then what also is of an issue for them is the fact that since the legal borders have been closed, the illegal border smuggling is thriving. And, the report says here that even before you get to these communities, that there are so many checkpoints, customs on the road, security operatives, and yet these illegal borders and smugglings are still ongoing. So that's what's happening in these areas up north as a result of the closure of the border.
Okay. So the Senate and the House of Rep have yesterday, Senate President specifically, Godswill Akpabio has asked the President to sack any head of government agencies, MDAs that refuse to honor the National Assembly's summons. The committees have always sent these summons ahead of time, and they send representatives. Said it is wrong for heads of MDAs to send representatives, that it's important we prioritize the work that the House of Assembly is doing in terms of checks, and in that same priority, they sent the medium-term expedient framework, that's the MTF and fiscal strategy paper for 2024 to 2026. And the House Finance Committees, joint finance committees, have asked for all the relevant people to show up. Thankfully, the FIRS head showed up for the meeting, as well as another, I'm trying to get the name of another agency that showed up. The Senate President said that he was meant to go to Imo State to campaign, but he had to make that sacrifice because he felt that the government, the work of governance was too important to push, and that these MTF meetings were too important, and many agency heads did not show up. And so they are saying this is not a threat to agency heads. It's a fact that your lack or your absence here shows you don't prioritize the work that you're brought up to do, and that you're not taking their own job as checks to the system very important. So they've asked that those people be fired. They also requested for, DG of NIMASA was present. That was the person I wanted to get. They asked for the ITF boss to be brought to show up because they've summoned him several times and he hasn't come up or be removed from office. Anyway, the National Assembly is they are representing us. If any MDA doesn't show up, it is disrespecting Nigerians. So I am all for removing them if they are not speaking up or defending their budgets.
Okay, Vanguard, very quickly now. Defense Headquarters, DSS IGP, read the Riot Act as Imo, Bayelsa, Kogi polls hold tomorrow. Labour strike, passengers stranded, flights cancelled. Infrastructure, Governor Abiodun asks capital market to partner FG and states. Reps move to reduce powers of CBN governor. Ex-Labour leader Kokori struggling for life in Delta Hospital. Afenifere, Fashion differs with Adebanjo on Supreme Court's verdict. And Rivers, Wike remains my Oga. Okay, which story?
The defense headquarters and the IGP have warned everybody trying, because these troublemakers, warning them of their consequences of disturbing or fomenting trouble during the polls in Bayelsa, Imo, and Kogi states, which are happening tomorrow. So he said the IGP redeployed 14 AIGs and 26 commissioners of police with immediate effect to these 3 states. And the defense headquarters said they are aware of some persons working for some candidates to disguise, in their intention to disguise a military jail to disrupt the elections. They said that there will be injurious consequences if they try it. So if you're found in a military jail.
We have to pause you because they said they can't hear what you're saying. All right, you have a story, Vanga? Okay, related.
Okay, please.
So it's just about the redeployment of 14 AIGs and 26 CPs. So the police force public relations officer Olumiyiwa Adejobi has said that the Inspector General of Police, Mr. Kayode Egbetokun, has ordered the posting and redeployment of 14 assistant inspector generals and 26 commissioners of police. Explained that the posting and redeployment were in line with the commitment to have professionally competent, service-driven, rule of law compliant, and people-friendly police force, and also to reflect the new status of the senior officers who were recently elevated to the new rank. So all the zones that this redeployments happened were named here. You need to pick up the papers to read. There are quite a number. And then all the 26 newly posted and redeployed CPs, the names were also given in the paper.
Really sad that the former General Secretary of the Nigerian Union of Petroleum and Natural Gas Workers, NUPENG, Mr. Franco Kori, has been admitted for kidney-related ailments at the Delta State Hospital. Sad, was struggling to speak to journalists on his sickbed. According to him, many medics attending to him said that he had to plead with the management of the hospital to run the generator all through the night so that he can have some air conditioning. The former NUPENG leader was occasionally gulping water pouring in his mouth as he spoke. Said it's unfortunate that because of the economic situation, the hospital is in an oil-rich state as Warri was economizing diesel, adding that if he had money, he would have flown outside the country. Really, really painful that he was in really bad shape. He said that he managed to walk through the stairway of the hospital. The hospital is trying for running its generator till night without air conditioning. What I could have given up. I came out of coma and I told my children to rush me to the kidney hospital, tell them to run it. So it's really sad, that these are people that have fought for issues with government, economic issues, and he's going through this, and it's really painful that...
As a member of NUPENG, there's also provisions that, the body make. I'm hoping that they stand up to this.
Yeah, I'm hoping they're also supporting him in this. It doesn't say that in this article. It's just saying what he's going through, his experience right now. Okay.
So the federal government has summoned contractors and developers of its housing projects that is across the country. The government also warned that anyone who has abandoned this project will be dealt with. They said they are going to recoup the investments that has been made into this sector. It is a core part of the president's mandate to provide, in the renewed hope agenda, to provide housing. They visited some projects in Kasana Housing. It's been done by Brains and Ama in FCT. And they also mentioned that some of the projects that have been abandoned, these companies are meant to have liaised with the Federal Mortgage Bank of Nigeria so that loans are given to them. Some of them had even gotten loans, and they should have finished the construction work, but they didn't, and that they are going to bring them in with the Federal Mortgage Bank of Nigeria to explain why, after getting the loans, they haven't been able to finish. I play in the sector. I know there are many macroeconomical challenges that is being faced, but their perspective is some of these developers took on projects they did not have the financial or technical know-how to execute. And these developers will be edged out of future projects, and they'll be made to repay the monies that were given to them. It's a sad story, though.
Nigerian Tribune. Let's find a story. Military police warn troublemakers. Nigeria has the highest cement price in the world, says producers. Passengers stranded as protesting unions block airports and entrances. Anyoku, Adebanjo, Idika, Kalu, others reject new review of the 1999 Constitution. Alaafin Stool, again, Oyomesi in court files fresh suit against Makinde and others. UBA Saudi Exim Bank partner to enhance business relations and export growth. IGP reports 14 AIGs and 26 CPs. Russia-Ukraine war affecting Nigeria's crude inflows, says NPCL. And MTEF, Sean Senate invitation, lose your job, Akpabio tells Tinubu's appointees. Okay.
I have the cement story. According to the chairman, the National Chairman, Cement Producers Association of Nigeria, David Umahi, Nigeria for over 10 years now has been the highest cost of buying cement in the world. They said that this is, of course, due to monopoly. We have only 3 major cement plant owners in Nigeria, and we would need 7 to 10 million metric tons per annum to meet local demand because of increase in housing and infrastructure construction. He also said that due to the inability to meet local demand for the commodity, of course, you see a spike in prices. He said Dangote produces about 17 million metric tons. Bois does 10 million metric tons. Lafarge does 7 million metric tons, and there will be an additional need of the 10 million metric tons to meet local demand. So he's asking the president to end monopoly and allow other players in the industry to come in. He said that any verifiable local investment in cement should be welcome to take part in the business.
Okay, I have to wrap up, but I know that Nigerians would like to hear the story, considering those Nigerians that are jackpotting. The Canada High Commission in Abuja has confirmed that the processing of immigration, refugee, and citizenship application remains ongoing, despite the suspension of operations. So don't worry, you can still jackpot. Okay, that's all we can take on Front Page Review. When we return, on to our next segment. Stay with us, we'll be right back.